Now moving on, a Western official and a Palestinian along with two Egyptian sources. Said that Israel is seeking changes to a plan for a Gaza truce and the release of hostages by Hamas.
Now that seems to be complicating a final deal to halt 9 months of combat that has devastated the enclave. What is the plan? Well, according to the Western officials, Israeli negotiators want a vetting mechanism for civilians who are returning to the north of Gaza, where they fear these civilians can be supporting Hamas fighters. Israel said the displaced Palestinians should be screened as they return to the enclave's north when the ceasefire begins. The Palestinian militant group has, however, rejected the new Israeli demand.
Another sticking point revealed by the Egyptian source is over Israel's demand to retain control of Gaza's border with Egypt. Cairo has dismissed that demand, calling it outside a framework for a final deal.
Hamas senior official Sami Abu Zuhri has blamed Netanyahu for stalling the deal. Meanwhile, U.S. officials have said for weeks that a deal was close, but that hurdles remain. The United States now is urging Israel to look for a realistic plan.
As you have heard the Secretary say, in the absence of realistic plans for the day after the conflict, you will either have Israel occupying Gaza, which we reject. They have said they don't want to do. You will have Hamas in charge, which obviously is not in the interest of Israel and clearly is also not in the interest of the region. Or you'll have chaos and anarchy, which is a breeding ground for terrorism, will hurt the interests of the Palestinian people in Gaza, make it harder for them to get food and water and civilian assistance.
On the other hand, Israeli chief spokesperson Rear Admiral Daniel Hagari has accused Hamas of exploiting humanitarian area to hold the hostages captive. Hagari's statement comes after the military said it recovered the bodies of 5 Israelis taken to Gaza by Hamas militants. Take a listen.
The Hamas terror organization abducted our hostages into their tunnels, 20 meters below the city of Khan Yunis. This was underneath an area that was previously designated as a humanitarian area by the IDF, an area for Gazan civilians to move away from the battlefield and receive humanitarian aid and shelter.
On the battleground, Israel is continuing with its operations. According to hospital officials in Gaza, Israeli strikes on the southern city of Khan Yunis killed at least 7 Palestinians overnight. And according to Hamas health officials, the Palestinian death toll from the ongoing Israeli attacks on the Gaza Strip has risen to 39,175. This comes as an investigation led by Air Wars, a London-based non-profit, has verified about 75% of all deaths reported by the Ministry of Health in Gaza.
People in the Israeli city of Carmel are demonstrating against the government and in support of residents of northern Israel who were evacuated from their homes near the Lebanese border.
On the other battlefront in Yemen, the Iran-backed Houthi group leader has threatened response to Israeli airstrikes near Yemen's Hodeidah. Group leader Abdul Malik al-Houthi said the response is inevitable.
Earlier this week, Israeli fighter jets struck Houthi military targets near Yemen's port of Hodeidah, killing at least 9 people and wounding 87. The attack was in retaliation of Houthis' drone strike on Israeli economic hub Tel Aviv. Yemen's port of Hodeidah has partially resumed operations after the Delhi airstrikes.